I am a disabled veteran with behavioral health issues. Until recently I was employed by Social Security Administration, 920 West Basin Road, Newcastle, Delaware, 19720. This is my story of how I was blindsided by management, which resulted in my resignation, and why I am now unemployed. July 6, 2020, my supervisor sent me a message about having a meeting at 2 p.m. We were still working from home, so I was told to call her. The reason for the meeting: a written complaint was filed against me by a claimant. She then began to ask questions relating to the claimant. I was not informed of the nature of the complaint, only the person who filed it. I knew the person who complained. I was simply curious what the complaint was about. I answered the questions truthfully and to the best of my abilities. I had no idea what was happening or the seriousness of the investigation. I do not remember being offered to have a union representative present for the questioning, or someone of my choosing. If a union representative were offered, my response would be, "I am not a member." And if that was my response, I should have been asked if I have someone to represent me. If I was given the opportunity to have a representative, then I would realize the seriousness of the investigation. This investigation went on for weeks. I was questioned 2 more times on the 9th and 14th of July. These questionings included 2 other claimants that I knew. At that point, I knew what they were investigating. In my mind, the focus was not on the complaint but my actions within the agency. On the 21st of July, due to the anticipation, my anxiety and panic attack started to affect my ability to work. I emailed my supervisor informing her of my condition. I was prepared to submit my resignation. My supervisor called me while I was having a breakdown. We had a discussion pertaining to the situation, then she told me to take the remainder of the day. At this point, I needed a therapist. Unfortunately, mine retired the previous November, and I was waiting for a replacement. I contacted the VA and requested an emergency appointment with my psychiatrist. I explained the situation to my psychiatrist, and he suggested I contact an attorney. I told my psychiatrist I do not think I need an attorney for this type of investigation. On the 23rd, I was still having difficulty performing my duties due to the anxiety. I had scheduled vacation for the coming week. I contacted my supervisor, informed her of my condition. She assured me it should be finalized by the time I return. I requested the rest of the week off, then I will be on vacation. I took a week of vacation, inquired about the result. It was incomplete, so I took another week. On August 10, 2020, I returned to work, still feeling anxious, but I continued until, sometime after having lunch, my supervisor said they have a proposal. This was first sent electronically. It had everything in it. The first thing I read was the proposal to be removed from duty and federal service based on 4 charges. Conduct unbecoming a federal employee, unauthorized access of system records, unauthorized disclosure, and lack of candor. My focus was the initial complaint, because up to this point, I am not sure what I did. During the investigation, I asked if I would be able to provide evidence in my defense. Will I be called to explain my actions, anything? I was kept in the dark for the entire investigation. The proposal gave me 25 days to respond, then I will be terminated in 30 days. Based on the options, I questioned what would happen if I resigned. I wanted to preserve my reputation for federal employment. I was assured if I resigned at this point, everything will be completed. Nothing will be entered in my permanent file. So, with that reassurance, I submitted my resignation. Being ignorant to the procedures, I took the remaining leave I had and make my resignation effective August 20, 2020. I had already applied to numerous federal jobs before and after my resignation. This was now my priority. I have the same expenses with less income in a pandemic. I continued to submit applications while waiting for my final documentation from SSA. On September 10, 2020, I received a packet in the mail. It was my final documentation. On my SF-50 it states, resigned after receiving written notice on August 10, 20 of decision to remove for conduct unbecoming of a federal employee, unauthorized access of system records, unauthorized disclosure, and lack of candor. I was shocked. How can I use this to apply for a federal job? This will prevent me from being selected. After seeing this document, it prompted me to review the entire proposal.